Today, I will be reading Children of the Middle East, a children's book by Christopher Jerabek. In the Middle East, there are rich countries and poor countries. In this book, we will explore the lives of different children as they experience the effects of their country's economic status. It's going to be a lot of fun. Iqbal is a happy boy because he lives with a rich family in Qatar. They make $98,000 a year, which is twice the GDP of the average American. This means that Iqbal lives in the richest country in the Middle East. Najib smiles as he rides his bicycle because his family can actually afford one. This is because they live in the United Arab Emirates, which is the second richest Middle Eastern country. They have a GDP of $49,000, putting them right on par with the United States. Abdullahab is made fun of at school for his funny name, but he's lucky that he can even afford school. Since he lives in Kuwait, they have a GDP of $40,000, meaning that his parents can afford to send him to school. Hang in there, Abdullahab. Benji is upset because he can't beat his high score on Flappy Bird. He should be thankful to have an iPhone because a lot of countries are too poor to afford them. He lives in Israel, which isn't super rich, but is still in the upper half of the Middle East with a GDP of $32,000. Majune and his friends watch the cars drive by, waiting for the day when they will be big enough to drive one. They live in Saudi Arabia, which has a GDP of $31,000, meaning that most people there can afford cheap cars. Majune lives in one of the countries that is right in the middle of being rich and poor. Jassim lives in Oman, which is just under Saudi Arabia when it comes to wealth. It has a GDP of $29,600. There's nothing interesting about Jassim, so I'll just move on to the next country and show you a picture of a brick. Naheem is going to be really mad when he reads this book because his name is misspelled. The only reason he would know this is because he lives in Bahrain, which is a semi-wealthy country with a GDP of $29,000. Their schools are old and run down, but at least Naheem has a school to go to. Sorry, Naheem, spell check doesn't catch your name because it is weird and foreign. Ibrahim is visiting a city in Cyprus, which has a GDP of $27,500. He lives in Qatar, so it is weird for him to see a country that is poorer than his. Cyprus isn't super poor, but it still has a GDP that is a fourth of what Qatar's is. This experience opens Ibrahim's eyes to the other side of wealth. Iskandar wants to take a wild puppy home with him, but his mommy says that it might have rabies. Iskandar has to send it away because his family doesn't have enough money to go to the vet. His family lives in Lebanon, which isn't quite as poor as other Middle Eastern countries, but is still pretty poor with a GDP of $16,000. Amir Mohammed Rabai asks his daddy what his long and complicated name means, because Amir Mohammed Rabai never went to school. His daddy is a smart man, but he has to leave because of his job. Lots of Amir Mohammed Rabai's friends have daddies that leave too. Most of them don't come back because of their jobs. They have to make money to support their families, since the average GDP is only $13,000. Amir Mohammed Rabai's daddy says that the work is for Allah, but then why does daddy look so scared when he leaves? Maybe Amir Mohammed Rabai will find out when he's older. Muhammad finds a phone on his way to the coal mine, but he doesn't know what it is. In Iraq, the GDP is $7,200, meaning that Muhammad has never seen a phone before. His government takes it away so he doesn't know what he's missing. Today is Saeed's birthday, and for a present, he gets some dessert. His family only makes $6,000 a year, so they can't get him anything too fancy for his birthday. But Saeed is thankful for what he has, so everything is okay. What time is it? Quiz o'clock. But Karam doesn't know the answer because he can't afford school. He lives in Syria, which is a very poor country. Karam's family only makes $5,000 a year, so they can't afford to send him to school. Mohinder is sad because he hasn't eaten for 4 days. He lives in Yemen, which is a very poor country. They have a GDP of $2,300, meaning that Mohinder has to live in a shack. Yemen is the poorest country in the Middle East.